guys, welcome to the review. My name is Ramo, and thanks for joining today. Today we're going to talk about the new Terminator movie that's going to be coming out in November. Actually, November 1st is when it's actually going to come out. They did some changes as far as when it was going to be released. It's going to be the 35th anniversary of the movie, since the movie came back in almost 1984. And one of the things that we are going to be talking about is actually where the storyline is taking place, because this is going to be the sixth movie of the Terminator franchise, so to speak. And part of that, James Cameron was the director of the first two. He actually was involved in the production in the first two, which is the reason why the first two, in my opinion, were the best ones. Part one was obviously to set the tone of the whole franchise, and then part two, which was Judgment Day, was taken to another level and actually made the franchise more well known, I think, than ever before. And then we went to the next one, which was Terminator 3, and that was the Rise of the Machines. And in my opinion, it was probably the worst one out of all of them. I mean, there was other ones that came after that, and but this one I really didn't like. It was all off because it didn't really make sense to some point. They also changed the actor, John Connor, the actor who played John Connor. I'm sorry. They changed him, so it wasn't the same person in the third one. And then from then they released Terminator Salvations, which that was by Christian Bale, who played John Connor, but this was in a futuristic time frame. So it actually was a little bit more, I guess, more of a backstory on John Connor in the future before he sent Kyle Reese to the back in future in 1984 and basically impregnate his mother with him. So all in all, I mean, this was just after part two, it just wasn't the best. And then after that came Genesis, which Genesis was a pretty good movie. I don't think it was up there with all the other ones, but it was definitely one of the best ones, I could say. That was a reboot of the actual series itself. Personally, I really liked the actress that played Sarah Connor. I think she did a fabulous job, which we all know as Khaleesi and from Game of Thrones, Emily Clark, and she really did a tremendous job in the part. But I think just the production itself wasn't the greatest, so to speak. You know what I mean? So for me, it was sad to see that they didn't go much further. But if you haven't seen the trailer for the new one, it is definitely taking it to another level once again. James Cameron does an amazing job. If you don't know who James Cameron is, he's done a ton of movies. You may have heard something called Avatar, which is one of the best movies, and also Disney made that Disney theme park. So he's done a great job all in all, and he makes great movies, and I see no reason why this movie that's coming out is not going to be anything short of awesome and amazing. One other movie, or I shouldn't say movie, one other storyline that was created after Judgment Day was the TV show called Terminator Sarah Chronicles, or Sarah Connor Chronicles, and that one took place right after Judgment Day. So it was basically a continuation of how John Connor and Sarah Connor made a normal life for themselves, and eventually in the show you have a new Terminator, and it's a woman. So it's right before Terminator 3 supposedly, and she's there to protect John Connor and Sarah Connor in the time until something was to happen in the future, which supposedly it was supposed to be that they avoided Judgment Day, but they really didn't avoid Judgment Day. So It's a weird show. It was not a bad show. I actually liked it. It was 2 seasons worth. If you haven't seen it, I would say watch it just because it's not a bad show. And there's another Game of Thrones actress on there, and she was the one who played Sarah Connor, and she was also in Game of Thrones with the Lannisters. So she's there, Ursies, and it's not a bad show. Anyways, going back to the new movie, The Dark Fate, James Cameron did an awesome job, and he decided to bring back all the original cast members. So in bits and pieces, week by week, we got like new information or about the new movie. First, it was brought that Arnold Schwarzenegger was going to come back to the Terminator franchise. Then Linda Hamilton was then announced to come back to the franchise as well. And then supposedly, but we haven't seen anything in trailers to confirm this, but supposedly also the original actor, Fei Long, I believe is his last name, he's supposed to be in the movie as well, which that'd be kind of cool. And that would be amazing that they were able to get all the cast members all together. And in this particular storyline, it takes place after Judgment Day. So essentially, the Sarah Chronicles, Genesis, and the Salvation don't even exist to this one. This storyline is completely separate. Since James Cameron wasn't a part of any of those movies, he decided to take it after Judgment Day and avoid any confusion or anything. As he refers to it, from what I can read, he refers to it as alternate timelines. So if you're trying to find out why it's a little confusing, don't be. It's just think of Judgment Day as the set timeline, and after that it alternates in different ways, like kind of like a spider web. But this movie is directly a sequel of Judgment Day, period. That's the way James Cameron wanted. But anyways, so this one takes place a few years after, I want to say about almost 35 years after, which is the reason why they're releasing it on November 1st. And basically, from what I understand, it's a different type of character. So instead of having a male Terminator, we have a female semi-Terminator, and she's not even a Terminator, she's a cyborg. So she's an enhanced human with the abilities to fight any Terminators, which now the Terminators are almost like the T-1000, where they're able to morph and change their shape of their composition and have more like sharp weapons and things of that sort. Very similar to how Terminator 3 was, and that Terminator that was there, very similar to that. So that's how I interpret it myself. So this one, she comes back to protect another young girl, which has some significant importance for the upcoming future. And Sarah Connor gets wind of this somehow and comes to their rescue to prevent it, as you can see in the trailer. If you haven't seen the trailer, I'll put a link below and show you where you can find it. But what you can see in the trailer is that she comes to the rescue to help protect this young girl and help this young cyborg woman from getting killed by the Terminator that's after them from the future. And she tries to understand why this is still happening, because Linda Hamilton, Sarah Connor, feels that this is something that she prevented already. So why is there still Terminators coming back? And that's basically what I understood from the whole trailers that I've seen. There's several trailers out, but that's basically what I've understood so far. I could be wrong on how I'm interpreting it, but if someone has a better point of view, definitely share that below. But she feels obligated to help because of the fact that this girl seems to be somewhat very similar to how Sarah Connor was when the first movie came out, and how she was an innocent girl that had to learn to defend herself against superior villains or characters. So that's how Sarah Connor got developed to be learning to be a badass woman with a shotgun and a freaking, semi-automatic probably and stuff like that. But she feels like she needs to help this girl because she understands how this girl is feeling in the sense of where she was been once before, and the semi 35 years ago. So this story takes place in that time frame, and then later we find out somehow that Arnold Schwarzenegger's character, or a different type of Terminator that comes back to the future that looks like him, comes back and he's older. So they took a little bit of the pieces of how Genesis was, where in Genesis, the Arnold Schwarzenegger that played on there, he was growing old, that he was able to grow old, and he has a beard and he has gray hairs and things like that. So James Cameron took a piece of that, I guess, so to speak, character description into Arnold Schwarzenegger's character. Now, what correlation it is based on the trailer, it seems that Linda Hamilton is upset at this one Terminator. We don't know what the significance or what the reason for it, because at the end of Judgment Day Part 2, you could see there was a trust in the Terminator. So I don't know if she knows this one that came back within this time frame, or is this a new Terminator, or she just got scared because 3 Terminators or 2 Terminators before her either came to kill her or protect her, or protect her son. So she doesn't know. That's what it seems like, and based on the trailer, it seems that she wants to really kill this character. So we'll find out when we watch the movie what ties them both in this storyline. So we don't know much yet, but we'll find out little by little. The trailer looks amazing. Again, if you haven't seen it, look at the link below. I'll put that on there and you can see what it is all about. Other than that, that's all I got for today. If you have any questions, or if you have any comments, or you have any input you want to share, definitely share that below. Love to talk about it some more, and we can have more of a conversation in depth. Anything, catch me on my Twitter feed, and we'll have a conversation through there. Thanks for watching, guys. Have a nice day. Bye.